Now, where the jury is out is whether that learning on those tasks actually transfers into sort of daily life problem solving. And that study, if it's been done, I don't know about it. But this is good impetus for actually those of you, the providers in particular, who are interested in looking at healthy mental health, healthy aging, looking at things to do that are health promotion. I would really encourage you to look at how you might set up an active program in the senior centers. This is good stuff, and we're going to try to do that in Vermont as well. Gene Cohen takes us in a slightly different direction when he talks about the creative potential of the second half of life. You know, so far I've been talking about biology, been talking about the way we live in connection with others, impact on the brain. And in our smaller session, we're going to really focus in on the notion of adult development, what it means to develop across the lifespan. Because we have the mental ability, we have the mental ability, meaning the cognitive ability and emotional ability, to be able to continue to grow throughout our whole lifespan. There is nothing about development that belongs just to the young. The tasks of development differ at each stage of the life cycle. And again, no surprises there. I've come to appreciate that the biggest barrier to healthy aging are our own expectations. We who are aging in a more obvious way than those who are 20 begin to demand less and less of our brains. We link our absent-mindedness to age. We make jokes about senior moments. We dismiss ourselves, and we buy into ageist stereotypes about vitality. And if we want to do one thing to help ourselves, it will be to remove ourselves as our own barrier. You gotta believe, and you gotta change your expectations in concert with new information when it comes in. Now, that's easier said than done, because I bet all of you who like to have conversations about your brain know about some of the things I've been talking about. And I bet all of you at one time or another have had a self-improvement plan that you were going to do to make your brain work better. We've all been on diets, we've all had exercise plans, we've all been there. And actually, even when you believe it, it's harder to change habits, it's harder to embrace things than we normally think of it. So I'm going to give you some tips, if you will, or some ways to think about developing a strategy that will increase your success. First of all, you gotta believe me that if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. This ain't new news. Hippocrates said it first. The father of medicine, the Greek father to whom I swear my oath, said, "That which is used develops, and that which is not used wasteth away." So we've known this, folks, since 336 BC. You gotta use your brain if you don't want to lose it. Here's my strategy. I'd like everybody to start with doing what I call an illness inventory. And to do an illness inventory means calling your doc or your nurse practitioner and saying, I'd like to take stock of everything we're doing about my health care. I'd like to make sure that I am on the smallest number at the lowest dose of all the medications that you're prescribing. I'd like to know if there are alternatives to medication, because medications are very hard on old brains. Almost all of them are hard on old brains. Some of them we have to take, and some of them are good for the brain. It's not that none of this is a one-way street. Some of them are very important. But many drugs we take have a downside, and you need to have that conversation with your docs. You need at the same time to do a health inventory. And by health inventory, I mean you have to take responsibility for what you already know are good health habits. Getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, eating 5 helpings of vegetables a day, good nutrition. If you drink alcohol, drinking only in moderation. not smoking cigarettes. Those are all things under your control. That's what I mean by a health inventory. What do you know about being healthy? Think back to what your mama told you, because we haven't made much more progress than that. My mom said that. Eat well, sleep well, have friends, choose your friends well. If you can't choose them well, at least choose enough of them. Live in connection. Find a life with meaning. Don't drink, and if you drink, only drink a little, and never smoke. It's the same thing public health announcements are. That's a health inventory. What are you doing now that's under your control? And other people would add things like, are you making sure your grandkids wear helmets and so forth so they don't get brain injuries? Lots of things on a health inventory. Those are the ones I want to stress today. Stress inventory. What are the things, who are the people in your life that bring you down that you can spend less time with? I'm sorry if it's your spouse, that's another. Hey, I'm just raising the question. I'm just saying that we know what the sources of our stress in our lives are. And if you want to do something good for your brain, you'll take hold of yours. If you work a job which you think demands 16 hours of you a day, and yet you know your coworkers are only working 12, those other 4 hours are on you. It may be a way that you have of thinking that you're real important. Well, I have to put 4 extra hours in. Or, as in my case, it may just mean you're slow.